Okay. As usual, I'm gonna test the stream real quick to make sure that everything is working good. I'm gonna start that music.
All right, all right.
Hello, artist testing 1, 2, 3. Okay, so far so good. Okay. Awesome. We are a go. Alrighty. Cool. Alright, so today should be pretty fun. Welcome to the stream, or welcome to the video, everyone. For Baka Bros episode 40 now. It's awesome. With Pat and I. And we will be going over some really cool, like, just track stuff generally. We really want to start figuring out what we're going to be doing for, like, obstacle kind of stuff and just general track management, as well as how it might affect the different cart types. So, yeah, look forward to that on the stream. Alrighty, so I will likely, since I am a silly artist, be testing what Pat is going to be doing. But then I'm planning on having an art stream later tonight. I was trying to have an art stream yesterday night, and I had a lot of issues with Maya, but we're good to go now. Okay, so we need to get in the gym map. Maps. I remember there's a couple different gym maps. Let's see if this is the right one. Okay, this is the one that I was, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, gym01. So maps and gym_map.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because this actually has, like, the properly sized track on it.
Why?
Exception thrown.
That might be the.
There we go.
Okay, I think I know what did that. Here, if that, it's probably gonna make the map not open anymore, right? Like you can't do anything in the editor after you press continue.
Right, exactly.
Okay, so let's go ahead and close it here. I think what needs to be done is just a single thing.
Okay.
World settings. World settings. Let's do default experience and BP game mode. Click. There we go. Yeah, so I'll push that map change. There you go.
Thank
So
you.
let's quickly pull the map again. It
Okay.
should not do that this time.
Yeah, let me pull a little quick.
Oh my. So debug ability system.
Alright, here we go. Pulled.
Tell me.
There we go. Alright, gym 01. Let's give it a shot. And editor.
I was like, why are all our values going to 5? Or like going away from 5? I'm like, oh right. We need to
Okay.
I have it defaulted to 5.
New error here. accept and throw and read access violation.
My data table is not pushed.
Well, I know you're making some changes yesterday.
Yeah, but like it should be like that thingy should be in cart. Find row, search name. From int. Oh, okay. You know what? Yeah. Okay. It's because the numbers are too high because like it's meant to get maximal. So sorry. As in it's probably try and grab for like a stat value above 20, which it does not like. Or actually above 10 now because like that's our new like value.
Okay.
So let me make it reconcile some stuff so I can push them. Submit. La la la. Okay. Now try pulling. So sorry about that.
No worries, dude. We'll get it.
I should add a check to like make it say, hey, if you have too high of a stat value, just round down instead of failing like that. Okay, there we go. Now we're at 5 for all those values.
Awesome.
Yeah, go find our chart again so I can remember what Okay, so we have these be like that, so your speed, your acceleration. Cool. Yeah. So let's make you have 2 there. 2.
You know, I think it'd be really cool to add the like, cause right now I think it'd be really cool, cause like if we added a water one as well, like that right now there's like water that in like Mario Kart that helps you go or slows you down, kind of like the moving belt. I don't want to distract you from this. I'll tell you in a second.
Oh, okay. Those need more. Get less traction, but more acceleration. You like 1. You know what? That's fine. That's good enough for now. To differentiate them.
Alrighty.
So now I have 7, 4, and 6. Damn, that's some sluggish acceleration. Alright.
Let's see if it's pulled went through. Okay, still loading build.
never used you. This one's over here. And put these up. Acceleration derived. So we want a value of 5 to be that, so let's have this be. I think increments of 500 are pretty good. Followed by 5,000, followed by 5. Let's make this 1,000. There's that one. Just doing the last bits of making our derived values kind of do what we're wanting them to. That is not what we want, our top speed.
Whoa. What happened here? Select mode. Oh, I probably need select mode. Oh, never mind. That's different. Where is my player kit? It's my director.
You can drag and drop a character into the scene if you can't see them, because like whenever you press play, it spawns you in.
It should be that, but I just spawned to the floor. Currently.
Okay.
This was it. Yeah, it should be it.
Okay, go into the world settings real quick. They're not showing up, so go to Window, top left window, then go down to World Settings. It's up a little bit. Okay, so what does those say? It says BP game mode and default experience, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Can you press on the little arrow, or the search thingy to default experience?
Default experience, yeah.
Yeah, so I press the folder with the magnifying glass on to the right.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Okay. Double click it. Okay, so that's all good. Double click on default hero. Double click on the icon to open it.
Oh, default hero? Sorry, where?
No, on the icon. That, yeah.
Oh, I see.
Okay, and it has a cart and everything. Okay, so
Yeah,
you can close these. Then go do the same thing with the game mode. So press the search thing to get to the game mode. Double click that. Open that game category to the left.
Game category.
Double click it.
Look different than yours.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out why it's not like you see on mine, right? Doing this.
Yeah.
You know, you read your Visual Studios and everything. So.
Mm-hmm.
Can you open the output log and then press play?
The output log.
So close. You can close these tabs.
Okay.
Windows. Output log. There. Now press play.
Okay. Let's see what I have. See what's going on.
Wait. Say scroll down.
Okay. Let me see this.
That's not fine or no players. Oh. Make sure it doesn't say that to me when I press play, right? Identify, start. Okay, can you, so close out, or it's like stop playing.
Sure.
And then you see like the little cube with a plus sign on it to the left of the play sign? click that, and then just type player start, and drag a CK player start in.
Each in the world.
Yeah, just yeah.
Okay.
Now press. What is going on?
I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of.
Just to be sure, can you go
Spawning
back?
on this.
Yeah, the spawning you at 0, 0. Can you open the other map that we were on, like the default map that you guys are opened at, just to make sure, like sanity check?
Yeah. Let's see. So that would just be. It was just. Daniel map.
Here's this map example.
Map example.
Yeah. So scroll down.
Oh, here it is. Don't save. Let's see if I can play it all. If there's. Nope. Still no both of them.
Okay, just to be sure, close everything. And then on Perforce, just hit revert, just to make sure, just to see if there's like any local changes that might be causing an issue.
Sure. Revert. No files reverted. All files are either changed or opened for deleted changes. Huh.
Okay. Then what I will do is.
Oh, there's like the pending stuff and.
What do you have pending?
A lot of stuff. It's mostly the things I think that are the file folder changes and stuff still.
Okay, so make sure you push those. So like
Okay.
just that they're like taken care of, so that we don't have desynced redirectors.
True. Yeah. Unresolved. What is unresolved?
Flyers have fire handling.
Okay, there we go. That should work now.
Okay, luckily our numbers though for like our cart settings are actually feeling like they're doing something now. So I believe I am a medium street right now.
Okay.
And you can see how I have 9 speed and 3 acceleration. So it's like I take a little bit to get to top speed, but I can go pretty fast.
Yeah.
Still have the upgrade. Versus also I'm gonna get rid of that. Okay. And your end is pushed, correct?
It just pushed, yes.
Okay, so I'm going to make sure this is all running correctly. Hold your stuff and then push so that we're ideally all on the same page.
Cool.
Just wants to take its time. Come on, thingy. Alright, now I can compile it open.
Alright, let's pull now.
Oh, I haven't played it because I just wanted to make sure it ran.
Oh, okay.
Because it might, like, once I get the stuff from your end, maybe then I'll see what's not working correctly.
Oh, okay. Sounds good.
Yeah, sorry it's taking so long. I wish that, like, I wish I could know, like, why sometimes this takes so long to compile. Like, you see how it went from 2 out of 6 to all of a sudden done instantly. So it's like, which is it? Okay. But, should. Why are you complaining?
You remember that video that showed all the different terrain types? That was pretty cool.
Yeah. I'm spying anything, so. Alright.
So, yeah, real quick, the one terrain type unique that I'd like to have, or at least for us to try eventually, would be a water terrain type where when your car gets wet, then you essentially have like a rust defect, and you'll essentially it's kind of like the brittle effect from Ornn, where you'll just take more damage while you have the rust defect on or the debuff on. And it wouldn't last maybe very long, but it'd just be like while you're in the water, or maybe like 2 seconds after you get out of the water, then you'd have that effect on you. I think it'd be kind of cool.
I agree.
That could be pretty unique for our game.
And you should be able to pull now.
Okay, sweet.
Hopefully.
Let's give it a shot. Okay, things changed.
The boost actually boosts you. Forgot that when I was doing the attribute changes, the boost no longer is boosting, it's just playing an effect. But now though I should be able to, I'm just gonna test here. If I change to a light flyer, how does my driving change? Okay, so I have a lot more handling, which right now the handling curve isn't doing anything, so that needs to be changed. Handling derived values. So if 12 is our default, yeah, let's make it 10. What? No, you should be 10. 10, 11, 12, sure, 13. Like, these numbers are going to be pretty sensitive, so we don't want them to change too much. 9, 8, oh, Simon. See, wait, that's a 4, not a 9. 8. Yeah, let me know if it doesn't open up again.
All right, it's just, yeah, I just pulled and I'm trying to play. So far, it's stalled, so I'll let you know.
Okay.
Okay, just taking a minute, but yeah, I think I'm getting it.
Awesome. I always hate when like it takes time, but then you're just like, wait, please.
Is it
It
working?
And let's do 8 and 10. Oh, now our handling curves have to go back. So, let's see how wacky this is. Yeah, that definitely feels a lot more handling.
Do you know how slow the rough terrain is when you're like, going into like the grass or the outskirts on Mario Kart? Is there a wiki for that rough terrain stuff?
Yeah, they,
Looks like it's maybe 10 or 20%. I can't tell.
so here, I believe they're using break RT, so, oh, okay, interesting. So apparently the way that works is that the way that they have rough terrain work is that instead of actually changing physics related stuff as much, it seems like it just limits your top speed. So it uses these values to set a percentage.
Oh. Okay.
So like, so
Interesting.
light dirt makes you have basically only 70% speed, while heavy dirt has you only have 0.3 of your speed.
Okay, that's cool.
While the slippage is nothing really, versus with the ice, there's a lot of slippage but no slowdown. So that makes sense how to do it in that kind of way. Yeah, so get rid of you. Oh, I'm sorry, it didn't spawn you correctly, right?
Well, not last time, yeah. So I'm just waiting for it to open again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm still waiting on. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Here we go. I'm on. So let's see here. Okay, so I can now spawn in normally on the example map.
Okay, so that means it should work on their map as well.
Yeah. Cool. Get my controller out. There we go. I still really like the back cam. I think it's a lot of fun.
So right now you're a medium streetcar.
Oh, right away, by default.
Yeah, because I was just saying those values. So like on the hero card, you can change on the hero card's data asset, you can change it.
It feels good.
Yeah, so in this case, you see that you have really high speed but low acceleration and just average handling. So go ahead and try changing those, or actually, here, let me push this one guy. This guy, luckily, you don't have to do any. You can just right-click on the file and say sync, and it'll get the pull.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so just inside the game cart folder, the DT handling derived values. I was just messing with those recently. So yeah, you don't have to close in the reel for.
Oh, the sync. Okay. I've just never done that before. I've always been okay. Gotcha. I should have just done that.
Very good.
It's a habit for me. I'm like I heard it, then I'm like, okay, yeah, that's right.
Now let me see how it feels to be a off-road heavy. Okay. Oh, you can't turn. And my lower end values of the handling might be a bit too low, or I'm not sure. You can let me know. But yeah, it's just within the carts folder. You can just right click on the DT handling derived values.
Okay, so cart folder.
So the derived handling one.
Drive.
Yeah. To the left.
Speed. Okay, DT handling, yes. Okay.
Close that and right click it.
Oh, okay.
Oh wait, no, do you have the values? Yeah, you do, never mind.
Okay.
So you should go then.
Okay, so it's already this new one?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so what is this kind of racer type?
Right now I think that's still the medium street.
Okay.
But to change that, just within the character folder, just see what hero data has assigned as its weight class and everything.
Let's see. Yeah, I want to see what the difference is. What the difference feels like. Okay. So yeah, I definitely like the way that feels. It feels pretty good. Okay, so then it was the cart type.
So go to the character folder.
Character. Yep, game. Character. Yep.
Okay. So perfect. You see the default hero, DA default hero?
Yes.
Open that up. Okay, so now you see the weight class of vehicle type.
Weight class. Yes, right here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So this just changes what you're working with. I want to try. Are all of them are defined right now, right? It's like a light flyer kind of thing. Do any of these?
Yep. Yep. They all can be done.
Let's see what light flyer is like. It could be good to have these available as like different kind of pawns or whatever, and just like maybe press like hotkey buttons like 1, 2, 3, or 4 or 5 or whatever to activate them real quick to spawn them for just testing sake.
I mean,
oh wow, this was good. What was that?
Yeah. I guess I can have it be that way too.
This is okay. Yeah. Oh wow, it feels super fluid.
Yeah, so these guys should have all the handling.
I love the air strafing ability. I'm not sure if that was because I was already holding down the drifting button, but that feels crazy.
And we can, of course, use what the actual values for all these things are. But luckily, we only have 3 tables to worry about now instead of 6.
Yeah, they drive so smoothly. It's almost like slippery. Like it just.
But I guess like if you're a flyer, that kind of makes sense.
Oh right, I think it does. Yeah, I think it feels really good for. Yeah.
Because if you go to Revenera's data asset, you can set hers to be a light flyer. She should already be. And then you can just say set character right while playing and become Rev.
Right. I could try that. Wow. Yeah, and this really lends itself well to the fact that like they'll need to dodge more often to avoid combat, likely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think probably any kind of like speed heavy character would either be a flyer or it would be like a light street or something like that, probably. We're not speed heavy, but like just maneuvering heavy or whatever. Like, this is cool. Well, yeah. Because I was thinking about those different class types and everything, and you were saying that I think if I remember right, you didn't really like the idea of having assassins in this game.
Well, it's not that I don't think we should have assassins in this game. I just think that what that would mean in the context of this game would be so different that I'm not sure if us trying to directly relate it to League of Legends would make sense.
Right.
just because again the primary objective is still the race.
Right, right, right.
And so, what is the difference between a character like Mallet Boy who can come up and try and smack someone off the track versus an assassin? Like, what does an assassin fundamentally do differently than what Mallet Boy would be doing? And because
Right.
there's like a big distinction between assassins or more over time related damage of characters. But if we want Mallet Boy, right, to be able to like go, oh, I want to launch someone off the edge, so I'm going to try and land my hammer hit, right? If that's
Right.
all it takes for him, if he's able to land that hammer hit to lock them off the edge, is he an assassin now?
I get that. I feel like assassins usually are very single target heavy, or so very, very like, if we don't have targeting, for instance, then essentially it'd be very, very like tight hitboxes, so that you probably won't be able to hit multiple targets, and they're relatively squishy. So maybe like longer cooldowns, squishy, and like smaller hitboxes for their abilities, but they do high damage kind of thing. That's probably what would define them more.
That's not necessarily an assassin. That's like how long mages can be viewed as, how AD carries can be viewed as. That's why like
True.
the assassin moniker, I don't think is as useful versus being like, yeah, we're gonna have characters who require precision to land their abilities.
Right, right, right. Yeah, I imagine the difference between like the mage and assassins is just like usually an assassin would be close range combat, and mages would be long range combat. That'd be the major difference there.
But how big of a difference is long range versus short range in our game?
Right. Yeah.
I think trying to come up with the character classes right now is because like League did not originally have those concepts, right? When they're first making characters, they're just making characters. That like, yeah, I was like, yeah, this is an assassin, this is a mage, but like there wasn't any like hard and fast kind of like rules to it.
Yeah, it's like Garen and Annie and who else was the first ones? But
Twisted Fate.
Yeah, they had like trope sort of things for their first ones, or like what they thought classes maybe would be or something. But yeah, they don't think they had anything like hard rules for them either.
Yeah, and so I think we can do a similar thing where it's like having the vehicle like class types is like useful for us being able to have a common language for the game to run through. Because now it's like a thing that we can have abilities kind of do stuff based off of. It's like, oh, well, I do one thing to flyers and one thing to off-roaders or light, medium. Because like with Talk, Malboy, Rev, and Bucky is that we can try and figure out what they would fit into in like a league sense, but
Right.
it might just be better to keep in mind those ideas, right? But just be like, yeah, what is Bucky, right? And if he has a weird mix that's like, oh, it looks like he has some supportive stuff and some damage things, it's like, well, but for a racer, it might make more sense for most characters to kind of have a bit more well-rounded of a tool set.
Sure.
Because like you have to be a lot more independent. But anyway, here, try going to the gym map and driving as like a heavy off-roader and see how that feels.
All right. Okay, so let's see if it. Okay, I do work now, so I just need to go into the same thing, right? It was the characters, game characters, and then that was DA default cart, was it?
Yeah, default hero.
Okay, and then that was a heavy what? Just heavy street or heavy off-road, or?
See, that's kind of the point what we're trying to do right now, right? Is
Test them.
Yeah, just see like, or do they like when you switch those settings and then drive the vehicle? Does it feel like you're actually now driving that kind of vehicle versus?
Right. Okay, so this is a heavy street. I feel like the go is still pretty good on the heavy.
The what?
Just like the acceleration still feels pretty fast on the heavy.
Isn't that supposed to be what it is though? That heavy characters have higher acceleration and lower top speed?
No, it's the opposite. Like Bowser has the highest top speed and the lowest acceleration kind of thing.
Okay. So yeah, so if you just go into the cart folder, then we can change those.
Okay.
You can just go to the weight class or cart type. Game carts.
Sorry. Default cart.
No, if you're looking to change data tables, go
Yes.
into the cart folder.
Oh, cart folder. Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Think of it as there's stuff that is just about carts, everything pertaining to carts, and then there's the actual characters, which are in the character folder.
So there's the
So
cart.
the weight class attributes.
Weight class attributes. I'll get it. So the weight.
Yes, that.
Okay. Weight derived values.
Oh, wait, no, not that.
Not that one. Sorry.
wait.
Oh, there it is. Next to it. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, so see how I have the 2 speed on light? I guess we should change that.
Okay.
So we can change the values.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, I can help with this. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so light was. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it has this on those forums that you were looking at for the weight, but yeah.
I just remembered it's all.
Oh, good. So I think it's just the opposite. So. +2. Let's see. So light. Is it? Are we getting rid of the mini turbo, or are we just keeping this here?
I'm not. Just don't. Just ignore them. Like
Okay.
You have to be careful with like getting rid of data values and data
Sure.
tables.
Okay.
Ignore it.
Sounds good. Traction. All right, let's give this a shot again. So now heavy should have -1 acceleration and +2 speed. So yeah, I think the idea is that smaller characters that will be knocked around easier can just have better acceleration, so they can have kind of better like recovery, and then the heavier characters have bad recovery but high top speed. Let's see here. Let me. Yeah, this feels more like a Bowser now.
Good.
Whoa. That turning radius was really bad though. Let's see here. Let's test this. So if I just turn. Okay, then I just need to start turning her way earlier. Because technically you should be able to drive a whole thing without having to drift. Yeah, that feels very weighty to me now. I think that's really good. Let's see here. Yeah. I guess in a way it's kind of like, you know, it'd be harder to get a semi truck to start getting to top speed than a motorcycle kind of thing.
Yeah, that does make sense.
All right, cool. Yeah, I think that feels pretty good. I'm going to adjust the handling a bit. Traction is what do we? So you said we're gonna like merge the handling and traction together, right? You want to?
Yeah, we're like going to have it be essentially 1 second. I'm gonna have it essentially be more so just tied to like the cart type and the weight class stuff rather than like having a value in there.
Okay. I'm gonna do a +1 for the handling, because I feel like the handling was a bit rough. Like I almost had to drift to make some of the turns. Okay, so that's actually pretty decent value swap. Just bringing it up to from -1 to 1.
You can also change what the values are changed between, because you may want it to then have that difference in the stat, but you can change what the stats actually give you for a turn value. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So there's those two things to change.
Okay, that feels pretty good. Well, it's like blood.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Carpet.
That's funny. Oh, it's just the roughness is probably, or the metallic roughness is just high or something. That's funny looking. Okay. Which one are you doing now?
Oh, I'm making sure the terrain stuff is
Oh.
properly changing the vehicles.
Okay, cool. So is it like upon touching that element, or are you doing like a collider system, or is it um like if the wheels are touching, or if your like hitbox is touching this material, or is it like some kind of unique collider that it's invisible above the above that's affecting it? Just maybe like the flyers won't be affected by that kind of volume or something.
So you know our suspension, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those are what detect what surface you're on.
Okay.
And so, what I can do, there's a few different ways I can do it. Like, I'm trying to see if I can just use this related stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is that it's hard to like know exactly what I'm having control over and what I'm not having control over.
He said just reduce your top speed, right? That was kind of what.
Yeah, not what it does by default, like with these physics materials, and so I think I need to what's incredible. Oh, my friction drag force is only affecting lateral, not forward, which is kind of an issue. Yeah, so we have those different surface type things here. So I think if I in here have, we can just call it what, dirt and ice, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then I should be able to
I'm gonna start keep on testing these.
yeah.
So light.
Let's see. Oh. Uh,
Try to find that wiki again for the weight classes.
I'll send it to you.
Thank you. Was it IGN?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Where? Okay, I thought I had it. Oh, here we go.
Okay, so feather or so light class is okay. Perfect. So I see speed acceleration. Accelerations. Three, two. Should I not affect the weight on any of these? Just like keep it a 0?
What?
For the weight classes, should I just keep them all at 0?
Yeah, they don't mean anything, so there's no
Okay.
point in value.
Got it. Got it. Okay. So they have pretty good handling. So medium class, medium 2. Are we using whole numbers, or are we still able to use the like 2.5 kind of thing or whatever?
Yeah, you can use 2.5.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it'll fully do anything right now. I haven't made it interpolate, but
Oh, good.
no, it'll be okay.
I'll just do rounding up then. Right now. Traction 4. Heavy.
There you go. So I have rough. I have PM. Nice. Okay. I think you'll be slippery right into you. Versus that chair keeps sinking. So rough, I gave a value of 0.5. So let's see what that does.
I think the heavy should have. Yeah, I'm gonna put add heavy as the highest top speed.
Try it on here and it's not.
Whew.
Heating up. All right, there we go. That's a bit too strong of an effect of this dirt, but
Unless it's dirt like 4 or something. Oh, slugging.
Well, we have it be a bit extreme for now. That'll be fine.
So, does it affect as soon as the those bottom bars knows what it is? So even if you're in the air, will it start affecting you, slowing you down, or? Okay.
No.
Okay, gotcha. Good. Feature.
So now let's make a PM ice. This one.
Okay, Light Street. Okay, cool. Yeah, I like the get up and go that Light Street has now. I've adjusted some of the stuff. I like hit one of these bombs and then I like immediately start trucking. I like that. Kevin
Blood red thing. Go ahead.
Hey Jasper. Good morning.
Do you know if it'd be easy to make these side parts of it thicker? Or probably not.
Thicker? What do you mean? It's like
you know how there's gray and then the white on the edges?
Yeah, yeah.
Because I have a physics material rough that I can apply to things, but I don't think I can apply it to like this, for example.
Oh, like the ground plane?
Yeah, because the ground plane isn't a ground plane; it's a brush.
It's built in the other stuff. Looks like it's connected to a lot of things.
Yeah.
It's a Batman.
Or.
Well, that's too bad.
It looks like it's only acting as a floor. So if I just get rid of it and let's replace it with an actual oh yeah, just try and make like a yeah, I see what it's doing. Okay, so let me just get a cube, stick them there, get rid of that.
Let's make a new floor.
Yeah. Okay. Brrr. 1,000's a bit too much.
Screen message press.
Okay. Cool. Alright, so we have that. Now we just need the walls. I'm going to change this color to be something a bit more. That is no.
Okay, so you're making it to where like if you like fall off the map and everything, or fall off the track fully, then you'll get slowed.
Yeah, this has a simple way for us to have a spot for that.
Is that white part a separate material than the gray part on these tracks?
Yep, which means technically we could assign a different physics material to it, but they're so small that it wouldn't really.
Yeah, I mean they kind of have those barriers sort of in Mario Kart, like on some of them.
Yeah, but I'm also mean like Mario Kart will have a track and then just like till either side will be dirt.
Yeah, yeah.
We're trying to see if there's an easy way for us to just kind of copy that. But nope.
Whoa. Okay, that's definitely too much top speed. So I think I like the new changes I made for the different weight classes, but I need to chill it out a bit on the top speed. So I think I just need to reduce everything by 1.
So are you talking about reducing the attribute values or the table of the derived values? Because remember, that's what.
So these attribute values, right? These right here. The
Okay, so
data table.
are those are taking those values, right,
Mm-hmm.
and adding those to the defaults of 5 that all the different that a card starts. And then,
Okay.
but the values then go. So close this and look at the like speed derived table.
Speed drive table.
Yeah.
Okay. Where are you at? Oh, that's in cart. Speed
Yeah.
drive
So look
table.
at the speed derived values.
Speed drive values.
So see
Alright.
this here?
Yeah.
This is what you want to change. If you want, so like, remember the attribute values we are having so that it's an easy way for us to show the relative stuff between the characters, right?
Right.
Not, and so if your thing is, oh, I think I just need to like lower all the characters' attribute speed by 1, it's like, okay, well, or we need to change what those things actually give you. So if you
Right.
see here, we have top ground speed from the different stat levels. So that is what you could change. So you could change what, like, the value of 10 currently gives you a top speed of 4,500. If that's too high, you change it here,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So the attribute values are essentially just to help land the cart in between the ranges of 1 to 10 for those values. But what those values actually give you are defined here.
I see.
And so if it looks good to say, yeah, look, a heavy cart has +2 acceleration, while a light cart has -1 acceleration. If those values are not being distinct enough or are too distinct, this is where that should change. Unless you want to change like how they are to each other relative. The attributes only change their relative differences.
Oh, okay.
These are absolute differences.
Yeah, so when I was changing these, like a lot of these seem to be on 0 or near 0.
Yeah, because again, everything starts at 5.
Right, and that's so I think that I just ramped everything up too high. I think that's probably what I did.
Oh.
Yeah. So I was like testing on the light, and I was like flying in the air with the ramp, and I was going so fast that I couldn't turn in time with the new track stuff. We'll be right back.
And we stick that there. Yeesh. And we get this other side on. Press play. Cool. So we're in here. And then if I... Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can feel that slow down. Okay. What that should mean now is if I go into our nature map, I should be able to make sure that the because beforehand we were trying to do the dirt stuff and weren't able to figure out how to make all those different terrains behave, but layer material. I don't know what all those words mean. Let's go to our layer.
Here we go.
Escape. Manage. Paint. Okay, so if I go to the grass, you have rough. Basic track. That's track, which is simply this. So if I drive, I'm driving nice and normally on. Oh, hello, friend. driving nice and normally on this track. But when I'm here, I've slowed down a lot. Okay. You see that, Daniel?
Oh, cool. Yeah, that looks pretty similar.
You're still muted.
Ooh, there we go. Yo, hey.
So you see how I'm driving around on the track and I have normal
Yeah.
speed?
Mm-hmm.
If I go into this, I get slowed down.
Yeah, that was great.
So,
That was really good.
of course, with this tiny one where like the track is like,
Yeah, that's a rough little spot there. That'd be
yeah,
really annoying. I don't know about that.
yeah, probably a bit wider of a road. Yeah, 'cause now it's really hard for me to travel. I'm like, oh, let me through. But it's fitting for off-road.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I'm wondering, the off-roaders themselves, like the off-road type, should it just negate, like so I remember you said like a momentum thing. So like if you
Like,
drive into it,
yeah, I don't think it should negate, but what I think it should do is,
should it like
what I think
reduce?
it should do is that they're not as affected by it. So like, let's say
Yeah.
like if it's a 50% slow, they only get slowed 25%.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool to have them be half of whatever the debuff is. Like that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, so if I hop into find usages, okay,
Okay, I think I found
and
a pretty good spot for this. By the way, go ahead.
oh, you're good. Cart hero data, um, cart, no, a type, vehicle type, yeah, is equal to e vehicle. No, what do I call them? E cart. Man, I need to be consistent with my names. I have to call vehicle type in one spot, cart type in another.
That's cool.
So then I can just say current ground scalar resistance is just divided equal by 2. That's the right way of doing it, right? Yeah. Okay. And then what I can also do now is this ground friction. Because the ground friction is being utilized. But what I can say is here, I can go, and I can do the same thing for like the flyers, right?
Yeah. For the ground friction for the flyers.
The friction, yeah. You know how we don't want being affected by friction?
Right.
So, let's say, else if card hero data vehicle type is equal to a flyer, current ground scalar resistance is just 1.
Okay, so 1 being the whole value of just is fine, kind of thing.
I think so.
Out of 1 to 0 kind of ratio, I assume.
But yeah, let me double check because it being a higher value,
You just test.
I want no, yeah, higher. Yeah, so what I was realizing was so if you have a scalar resistance of 0.5, that mean like that value is being used to essentially multiply your top speed to
Okay.
figure out some slow. So I want the off-roaders to I want this to equal f math clamp current ground scalar resistance times 2.f comma 0 and 1. So what this means is that since I don't want the value to go above 1,
Yeah.
because if it goes above 1, that means that it's like, hey, you're going past your top speed, we should be slowing you down. Like that's essentially what this is helping us control.
Right.
So that multiplier is essentially a multiple of your top speed to determine are you going above your top speed and should you get slowed.
I see. I see.
So yeah, flyers are just always at a value of 1, so they don't get affected by it.
I guess that makes sense for Mario Kart because there's pretty much just a go button. There's not like a gradient of speed. It's just like go or stop kind of thing. So reducing your current value by 20% or whatever wouldn't make as much sense as just top speed. So I feel like that makes sense and why they do that. Because you can relatively get up to your top speed within like a second or two with like a light or something like that. So I mean, it's yeah. Let's see.
I might also make the car's acceleration be affected by that value too, so
Yeah.
that your acceleration is slowed as well when you're on that kind of terrain.
I'm curious about the handling and traction types and stuff like that. Like I understand that they can be affected by weight. In Mario Kart, like when you have a different kart type, does that also affect your traction and that kind of attributes too, right? Like so when
Yeah, but again, that's why we were saying let's not have the traction and weight attribute be their own attributes, and just have that all defined by the combination of your cart type and weight class, and not have like one of these tables do that.
Yeah.
Just have it be a much more like specific, like, so I'm within this part of the code, right?
Right.
Doing these conditions, versus if we were doing it purely through attributes for those specific interactions, we'd be doing what we're doing for like speed and acceleration, if that makes sense.
Right. Okay.
Acceleration. Times scalar just okay. I hope that does everything I'm wanting correctly. So let's close all this, recompile that. But yeah, hopefully this change with the terrain that I just did will like drastically make them feel different. And yeah,
test
heavy street guy. And yeah, then you can also like see in the top right what those values. Yeah, so like I guess makes sense for a heavy street guy to have really, really high speed.
Yeah, let's see what that's like. Ooh. Yep, and it's taking a while to get back up to speed. That's good. That feels good. Okay, the handling's still, I think, needs a little bit more. Like that's even for a heavier class, they should be able to turn a little sharper than that.
Okay, so we know how the handling though is a value of 5, so that means that the derived value of 5 for handling, which should be the default, right? Working well enough, and so that means you go into the derived handling attributes table.
Right. Okay. This
and then say,
Sorry, go ahead.
So
derived speed.
Yeah, so you want derived handling.
I'm trying to get out of here. There we go. Okay, so then derived handling. So you want me to basically adjust what actually it means for the handling so that it never goes below this because that's not good enough kind of thing.
Or like if you have a stat below that, right? Like so you see how we have value to 1 to 10? 5 is like what we should view this as a standard turn speed, and then everything below that should be lesser than that. But then you still want that to be like clearable, or it can just be that no one's ever going to have a value of less than 3 handling unless they're like debuffed by something. And in that case, it's okay for them not to be able to make a turn, right? So you see the value of 5, like the 5th row, how it has a turn speed of 10?
Right.
So that's what you're not liking. So change it to, for example, like 12.
Do I need to change these air things as well, or just this currently?
Are you having issues with the air turn speed and drift turn speed?
I don't think so.
Then don't change.
So 12. Okay. So do I need to change everything else too, or is this
see how just make the level 6 have a value of 12 as well.
Okay.
Then we just worry about that later.
All right.
Because I don't think you have anyone getting down to 4.
Y'all have negatives, yeah.
So hearts.
All right. So the new handling.
Oh, oops.
What happened?
You notice how much my guy's slipping?
Oh wow, yeah. Oh, so is that supposed to be like ice or something?
Yeah, well, right now I'm a flyer, and since I made the friction value be set to 0 for them,
Oh no.
I forgot that means for everything. So they
That's
probably don't
funny.
want a default value of 0.
Yeah, probably not. That's funny.
Yeah, that makes their driving feel
Woo!
so weird.
I mean, it'd be cool if it was less, but not necessarily 0, because it'd feel more floaty like that.
Yeah, like my driving feels very floaty because it feels like, oh, well, if I'm going this way and then I'm turning right, I still have all that speed. So it's almost like I'm drifting when I'm not. Like you see this,
Yeah. Hmm.
that looks like drifting, but that's not drifting.
I feel like that's kind of how a flyer would be, though. Like
Yeah,
when you're in a hovercraft, you don't have a thing to turn other than just like fans or alternate like almost like a what is it, a rudder kind of thing. So I mean, it'd be cool to keep somewhat of that, but not that much.
yeah. Like it's too much. Like right now, it's
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
max. So I can just say divide by 2 then, and
Y-
also clamp it.
Yeah, I love that floaty aspect of it. I think that looks really fun, and that will be like make them feel different when you're driving them.
There we go.
Okay, the heavy feels pretty good now as far as turn radius goes.
Hmm.
These
As
hard
like it's
turns.
8, but it's like really close.
Yeah, right. Which is the way it is in Mario Kart too. Like
Okay.
like you almost have to drift in Mario Kart on a heavy to clear some of the turns. But you should basically be able to barely do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, and then this turn, this air feels good too. Awesome. So yeah, heavy feels pretty good now.
This is a slightly off-topic thought, but for the camera stuff, I'm still like, I still almost kind of want us to still have a camera be mostly locked, unless you're like aiming an ability,
I think so too. Yeah.
because I think like it will just feel a lot cooler for the driving, and then that means we can also have the camera logic work in a very springy way, where it's like if you turn, we can make it so like the sensitivity
Mhm.
scales based upon how far away you are from looking straight. So like when you're first doing it, you can be pretty sensitive with it. But then when you really turn left and aim, it's like, okay, cool, you have a bit more precision, but then it'll quickly snap back to middle once you release.
That'd be
So it's like
interesting.
a spring you're pulling. It's like aim, dunk, dunk. Versus like ours currently, it's like, okay, I'm looking around and then I'm coming back.
That that'd be interesting. I think we'll have to definitely play with that. Yeah, the grading of that could be helpful. It might feel somewhat alarming if you're used to having normal moving camera stuff like that, but I think that'd be cool. I wonder if that could be a setting change.
Yeah, there's
Um,
like a value for it that they can mess with. But like the, I guess, intent of it.
yeah, it's
Is it-
like good.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, the intent, I guess, is that like when you're looking more away from where you're driving, your
Hmm.
individual inputs are not going to be as extreme because it's going to be because like then if you're looking at something and then you turn, then it's going to be zoop.
Yeah, because camera sensitivity is a big thing in games, but that also affects your gameplay, right? If you have a small camera sensitivity on third person or first person shooter, you're gonna turn slowly essentially, but maybe you can aim better that way if you're slower. Um, so I think that could be a cool adjustable aspect of it. Yeah, I think so. Generally, I think yeah, it should always be snapped basically, but you can override it when you start doing stuff, but overall it'll always be snapped, or should always be snapped. But yeah, I think only when you're using the right thumbstick. I'm gonna guess that most people probably won't be using the the ability to be able to look around and aim, especially for the first like maybe month of playing the game. Like they probably won't use it often. It's only the high tier players that will be actually looking around and shooting in different directions.
I mean,
Um,
I feel like that's like a bit low faith in just players in general. Like most players like moving their camera.
Well, maybe to like see what's going on, yeah, but like actually being able to like try to shoot and aim while driving might be kind of difficult for people that just are trying to learn how to drive and not get hit. Maybe, yeah, maybe that is that way.
Yeah, because like you're essentially saying it's like, yeah, you know, we don't have an audience of people who know how to play Mario Kart already.
Well, they
And it's
can,
like, well, why are we making a game for this audience?
right. Well, I mean, if they
But
need to get
you're
used to the, yeah, I get that. I mean, I just want it to be able to be good for high tier players. Um, yeah, yeah. Who knows? Yeah, maybe I'm completely wrong.
yeah, I think trying to already split yourself between low level players and high level players of a game that's not even made yet.
Well,
It's jumping the gun. When if we want aiming while driving to be important, then aiming while driving is going to be important for all players. If
sure,
we
sure.
don't want aiming to be super important, only have it be a small factor,
Yeah,
and primarily what you need to focus on is your driving and being in the right position,
yeah.
then that's what's going to be important for all players. And
Hmm.
instead of trying to like satisfy both ways, we just need to like state, do we want to have a lot of camera aiming of stuff all the time, or only when using abilities, or just no camera aiming and it's simply just like you shoot a red shell and the first person it locates, it goes to them, right?
I
Uh,
get you. I like the agency of being able to look around too much. I think it's just it makes it more unique in that way. It's almost like racing tanks.
yeah, in that case, then yes, aiming will be important for everyone, though, right?
Right.
Like if you want it to be a big part of the game, then we should make sure that like everything works well for aiming while
Yes.
driving.
Yeah. That's yeah, for sure. For sure.
Um, okay, that should. This is fun. Driving around as like a medium flyer. I'm just like zooming. Um, okay,
That's cool. Does it feel
so
floaty to you? Like when you're driving around? Like it should be a little more weighty than like just the light flyer, but I imagine it still feel floaty. Is the friction still kind of lower than normal too?
yep.
That's
Uh,
cool.
like you notice, like I'm going through the dirt and not really being affected.
Right.
Versus if I switch to be a medium street, I'm probably gonna be kicked. So I'm here, speeding up with my slow acceleration, and now I'm slowed down.
Dang. Should I push my weight changes?
Yeah, go for it. And I can my code changes so that way the terrain will also be affecting on your end.
Okay.
So
Sounds
yeah,
good.
if I go really fast.
Save. Let's go ahead and check in. So, weight class attributes.
Is that the only thing that you have been modifying, or did you also changed the speed one too? So press cancel.
Oh, okay, hold on. Oop,
So first do Control Shift S.
Control Shift S.
Check out.
Data table. Derived handling. Okay.
Remember when you're changing the steering?
Check out selected. I don't think I changed this. Well, I did change the speed, didn't I? I thought I did.
You may have changed their stats, not the derived.
Oh, that's probably what it was. Yeah. Okay. Submit content. All right. I'll send it over to you.
Yep. I'm going to send off mine to you.
Weight class changes and handling. So we still need to fix the handling stuff, but so 5 and 6 are 12 and the rest are not changed. So we need to figure that out, but I feel like that felt good as a baseline for the heaviest that are still able to get around okay with 5. Or I think heavy was 4 actually. I think it may have been 4. Let me test that actually. What was it? Acceleration is 4. Okay, so handling was 5. Yes, that's never mind. Yeah. Okay.
You pushed. I push.
Yes, I did.
Submit. All right, all pushed.
Pull. All right. Pull your changes.
I'm also going to make the flyers have slightly less gravity.
Less gravity. Oh, they would come to the ground slower, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So more air time, more air strafing, less friction, not affected by rough terrain. We should definitely add, however you want to. I'm not sure how you do with that, but like, how are we gonna make it to where they are CC'd like harder, kind of thing?
We can just same thing when we launch characters.
Yeah.
Right? We can just, for example, like if we're saying gravity's halved on them, we could just say that all knockups are doubled on them.
That'd be nuts.
Yeah, maybe not double, but like
maybe,
but like 50%.
That'd be fun.
And then we could, for example, have it be so that off-roaders, or we can have it just be a simple relationship between the, like, for example, maybe like a heavy flyer only gets 25% more knockup versus a medium flyer gets only 50% more knockup. A light flyer gets 75% more knockup.
I can see that. Yeah.
And so that way it's like both those stats can help mix into it, and it's in like a way that makes sense, and there's also nice, easy whole numbers.
Yeah. That's how it should be with weight classes anyway, but especially the flyers. So if you're a light class, you should always be CC'd heavier than heavier classes. So yeah, we should definitely figure that part out at some point soon. Because that'll be one of the last things to probably figure out for the weight classes and stuff.
Yeah, and it's figuring out exactly where we want. Because like, if we can, for example, if we can simplify ourselves in such a way that we can just say, okay, maybe every character has a force multiplier thingy based on their weight. That stuff like their weight class and their other thing, right?
Yeah.
We can just have that be set, and then that way, anytime we use knockups in the future, we don't have to think about that. That'd be nice. Is if we can just say, cool, I hit him with 500, and it automatically knows what to do for different weight classes versus every ability. Okay, cool.
And that'd be really fun to see when you do like a mass knockup and you see different people like go up at different rates and stuff like that. I think that'd be really fun to see. Like, yeah, that'd be fun.
So let's call this not boost ratio. Let's call this
Open. Say it's me.
Let's call it CC ratio. That'd be good enough.
Yeah, that'd be a really cool one to depict.
CC ratio.
So should it be like we just decide should we decide like the light, medium, heavy CC ratios for the weight? And then should we have a modifier for the cart type? Is that what it should be?
Yeah, like what I'm gonna do is just simply have like the ratio number.
Yeah.
Start at 1, because that's what you always have ratios be default.
Sure. That's okay.
And then I'll have heavy subtract 0.5.
So
and then light will add let's make it 0.25. So heavy makes it 0.25 less. Yeah. Light makes it 0.25 more. So that way medium is always like the even one. For that. And then flyers can have an additional 0.25 or even a 0.5, who knows. It's really affected. And so that way what that would mean is that a heavy flyer would have 0.5, so they would have 1.5.
1.5, okay. So the light flyers would be the most. They'd be 2 for the light flyers. So a medium flyer would be
5.
What's that? I'm sorry.
1.75. So it's plus 0.25 because they're light, plus 0.5 because they're a flyer. A heavy flyer is minus 0.25 because they're heavy, plus 5 because. Actually, yeah, then that means it would just be 1.25, which fits.
Oh, okay. So okay, I thought the flyers was gonna be like okay, like it'd be like 1.5, 1.75, and 2 for the light.
Oh, we can do that too.
I think we should be fun. Let's just try it.
Extreme.
Yeah, let's go extreme for the light flyers. Like they need to be punished because they are flying around and they're not affected by rough terrain.
We're gonna end up like launching the light flyers just like to Mercury. Like
So,
Revenue's gonna get hit by something and just be gone.
well,
Granted, what we can do with that is that we can have a cap, like an invisible cap on knockups, just to like say, okay, no knockup is ever gonna go above this value.
Sure.
As just kind of like a just to be safe, in case any math goes funky. 'Cause, like, there could be a situation where for some reason the exact sets of angles and numbers and the weight class stuff just makes a specific character's knockup be like 10 billion. It's like,
Sure. Yeah. Like it'll never go past this. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
like there'll never be a knockup greater than 2,000. But most knockups are like 500.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a very much an upper bound.
I would still love whenever a character blows up or is 0 health or is hit into the kill plane that like it has camera shake within the certain range. Like everyone within that certain range has camera shake. I think that'd be really fun. Like light, but just enough where it feels impactful. Where it's like just I don't know. I think that'd be fun. So I feel like what's that?
I know they have hammer shake somewhere in here.
I feel like the off-roaders have basically the best I don't know, probably grip or whatever you would want to call it, like because they're able to basically drive through rough terrain somewhat.
Yeah.
So I think it would make sense if they had the least crowd control on that class type. Maybe.
I think for that, I think like I think they don't necessarily need it just because the off-road focuses more on like how they deal with the ground, right?
Right.
So I think it's okay if they don't. Like it's okay if the flyers have like a special thing because the flyers also have the extra benefit of they don't get affected by like dirt, right? It's like the heavy vehicles, like off-roaders, they still get affected. They just have a reduced amount.
Right.
But the flyers can just ignore it, and that's part of why they have to have that extra punishment.
Right. Gotcha. Punish them.
Finish him. All right, move this here. Handle, CC, ratio, attributes.
Okay, so we only want CC modifiers specifically for flyers.
Well, and based on weight class.
Right. So I wonder. Well, let's see. Okay.
So what that means is light characters 1.25, medium 1, heavy 0.75.
Right.
Flyers have an extra variance on that.
I agree. I guess I'm just thinking about. So what is the benefit of being street because you are affected by CC the most as far as like rough terrain goes? So is there a benefit to being a street? Is it just the highest top speed? Is that what we wanted?
I think if you haven't had the highest top speed and maybe like the most from boosts, like when they get a drift off and get a boost from it, it can be like much stronger. So like if anything, the street characters are kind of like the high risk, high reward characters.
Okay, I'm cool with that. Yeah.
And which is kind of funny because like they're the most standard kind of racing vehicle that you would normally have in the game, but we're kind of like, let's make the standard have an interesting thing because the other characters are like, well, we have a character who doesn't care about terrain. We have a character who just bulldozes through terrain. What's your thing now?
Right. That'd be cool. So yeah, so basically the off-roaders are slightly more forgiving when you pull off the main track for a little bit. And the ones that have to be on the road at all times are affected the most by rough terrain, have a benefit of having higher top speed and possibly, slightly better boosting modifiers. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. I think the more we kind of separate the weight types, the more it'll feel super unique.
Yep. Thus, right now, what I'm doing here is I'm adding. So you see how you have handle speed, stat change, acceleration, handling, turbos, blah blah. So I'm just adding in our CC ratio, so that we can then be inside. Like we can just go to Mallet and just have him do that. Get launched around. Okay. Handle CC ratio, thank you. And you need to be on CC ratio change. CC ratio change. Okay. So I got in the core now. Right.
Okay, so this is a light flyer.
Here, do you want to check some?
What's that?
Right now, none of those terrains have any like terrain stuff on it. So try going to. I'm pretty sure I pushed the nature map, but go to the nature map if you want to like see how like the terrain feels.
Okay.
With...
So maps. Let's do. Where is that again? Marketing map.
Marketing, yeah.
Okay, so does the off-roader already have those benefits of, or not yet?
It should.
It should.
Yep.
Okay, so the off-roader just is reduced. So I'll do street first, just to see how street is affected. I'll do a medium street. Let's see here. Let me. There we go. All right, so medium street. I don't think it's being slowed yet.
Huh. Could you? So like I pushed things and like you reopened and everything, so it should have compiled that.
Yeah, I did. Let's see.
So you're doing a what now?
Medium street.
Medium street. Okay, I will also do medium street. Medium street. Here, real quick, look inside the physics material folder and then open PM rough.
Oh, what? The physics material?
Yeah, physics material folder. So within game.
Game.
So whenever I say a folder, it's almost always going to be within the game folder.
Makes sense, yeah.
So see the PM rough?
PM rough.
Double click that. Okay, yeah. So I guess I didn't push this properly.
Okay.
So change that density value to 0.25.
Density.
And change static friction to, or just see like the little arrows on the top right, like the little like back arrow, like the little arrows. Click them.
Right here.
Those four.
Okay.
Okay. There you go. Yep. Okay. And then make friction 1. Sorry.
The friction one.
Just top value friction be a 1.
All right.
There you go. Okay. Now drive on the stuff. Now it should be doing it properly.
This is my medium street. All right. Nice. Okay. Okay, so my stats aren't reflecting it on the right bar, but it's just being slowed basically.
Oh yeah. It's not showing because like again those are your attributes, not like what's actually happening through gameplay.
Right.
So
Okay.
if I add to the HUD, like if I was to add to the HUD, would you want a spot that just shows like what terrain you're currently on? Like, because like I know you have the UI thingy that you're sketching out, but do you think maybe in a short term for when we're still in kind of like the prototype phase, white box phase of things like the UI to have? Because like I don't think we'll have those speed, acceleration, and handling attributes there, for example.
Yeah.
During game, because we'll probably just have like just like your current speed, and if you're like CC'd in any kind of way. But
yeah. We could do, we could just have the debuff, like, name for right now above your head, like, slowed, or, like, something, or, I don't know. It could show up, or, like, an icon show up, or something like that. What do you think? What do you think would be good? Because I know in the League, it's, like, above your head, you'll see, like, you're silenced, or you're, you know, this kind of thing is happening, this kind of debuff is happening.
Yeah, I think, man, my brain always wants to default to putting things in like the bottom left or bottom right, but for a racer, that's like not what you want to do.
Right.
Sorry.
Good. Yeah, this feels really good though. By the way, this is cool.
Try as a flyer right now.
It's super. Yeah, that would really upset me. I think it feels a little bit slower than it does in Mario Kart, but I think it's still.
Like the slowdown amounts?
Yeah, it feels like it. Maybe I'm wrong, but it just feels like it's maybe
Too much?
10% more than I'm used to seeing in Mario Kart. If this is like a terrain 1, or if this is like a rough 1, then.
So remember that density value in PM rough, right?
Yeah, right here.
Yep. Change the density value to be like 0.5 then.
0.5. Okay. Let's give it a shot. This is. Well, I guess maybe I feel like my top speed is a bit too high right now. I think I'm able to fly pretty fast. Maybe. Let's see. See, I guess relative to my top speed, it's pretty good. I think my top speed is just generally larger. Okay, yeah, I'm kind of flying. So yeah, I think that's pretty good. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good slow for the top speed ratio. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna make some more very janky UI elements that I will worry about later.
This is cool, man.
Since make you a variable, and we come here, we come here. I want both of them. I want you. Convert to validate get. Text. This I'm just making a thing so that we can see. Current speed. What does it say? Forward speed. X. So let me see that. Sorry.
Okay, cool.
My hands are getting cold and my dexterity stat is reduced.
I know. I feel that. I have the same problem. PM rough. Oh, you said try the flyer out. That's right.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. That would be default. So flyer. Let's give it a shot.
Yeah, I think our usage of weight classes is going to continuously be. That look nicer.
Yeah. Okay. So just not being affected basically.
It's what?
So just the rough terrain is not affecting it. Basically, that's all. Currently.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I tried to make it to where it wasn't 0. It's basically dividing it by 4.
So it is being affected by it then. So.
Yeah. But like the thing was remember when I first did it, it seemed a little bit too much.
Oh, the friction stuff, or
yeah, it was sliding around too much, if you remember.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about like the rough terrain still affecting them. Okay, you're talking about friction.
Yeah, as in like the slidey aroundness.
Yeah.
Beforehand, there was like none from the ground, but I made so there's just a little bit.
Okay, I gotcha.
And so like the roughest terrain, yeah, will slow a flyer a little bit, but it's like such a marginally different amount that's not. It's more so just to make the stability of the driving more good.
Gotcha.
Also a fun thing too is that if we use landscapes to paint, stuff like this, if you do you see the ground resist number on my screen?
Yes. Yeah.
So watch what happens as I get closer. See how it's like 0.4, 0.811?
Okay. Yeah.
That's because it's blending between the grass and then the track stones. And it's automatically doing that for us, which is really nice because that means like we don't have harsh boundaries
That is
for
cool.
it.
Yeah.
So like if I in here move the landscape and I paint some more grass and I make it have some fall off.
You know what I need to do, man? I need to make a slowed animation. Because they have that in League 2, where when you're exhausted, you're like, ugh.
Yeah, that's what makes me realize I'm slowed sometimes.
Right.
More than...
Right. So I think with the visuals of having a slowed animation, and then also, like, maybe a debuff icon above your head, maybe. Could be cool.
Yeah, you even have like maybe like some little particle effect that comes off your back wheels, just like how in League there's like those orange wave things off of you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally.
See here how like it's putting some of the stuff there, but my friction's only like here is 0.5, but on the edges here it's more of like a blend value. So that means if we have on other tracks, we can just have different surfaces and not have to worry about making it perfectly distinct, kind of like what Mario Kart does.
That's cool.
Or like, boom, right?
Yeah.
But if I'm like halfway on it because I'm on the edge,
yeah,
it's like I'm partially one way versus the other.
Okay. And what about off-roaders? Is this an off-roader?
No.
Okay.
Let's make it off.
Yeah. How is off-roading? I want to see how off-roading is affected.
So if I go into here, you see how I'm at 0.5 instead of 0.25?
Right.
I'm getting half of that results. And so I can still... Oh man, this guy's OP. A heavy off-roader, 776. So you can see me going through it there, right? I have to slow down and then speed up. But also, this is me driving, though, in the rough terrain. And also, you changed rough to have, what, 0.5 here?
Yeah, 0.5, yeah.
So if I do that now...
flying through it, then.
Yeah. I just, like, don't care because probably that small of an amount of...
Doesn't even notice it. Maybe...
Oh, wait. I think I just did my math. So when I'm in here... Off-road, clan... Okay, so I'm taking our... okay. That's why. So I need to make it. What? No, I don't like words. What's 0.25 times 0.25?
What was that now?
0.25 times 0.25 is 0.0. Okay. So the problem I'm realizing is that since I'm just doing a flat double, and for this like a flat quarter, what that means is that it doesn't change well. Whatever, good enough for now. I'll worry about that later. It's soon to let.
Okay, yeah, what is it? It still says 1, so it's not affected by it all.
Yeah, that's because it's doubling it. So if I, let's make it 4. There you go. So, there you go. We're slightly affected by it.
Okay, I see. That feels more like what I would think it would be.
Yeah.
So they can basically drive in rough terrain unless we have like this insane rough terrain or something like that.
Yeah, but they also have a lot more grip because it's like the flyer can go through it, but has like so much less control.
Yeah.
It's like if I try and drive as a flyer, it's like them having to like slide and stuff and deal with that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, you can see the effects of gravity that I changed.
You kind of like, oh, you hover a lot more. Is that a hop?
Oh yeah, I never have that debug spacebar to like launch us.
That's funny.
But honestly, I feel like a flyer character that has an ability where they just kind of like go up like this and can like
Yeah.
shoot something down
That'd be super
would be very
fun.
fun.
Yeah, that'd be fun. And it would be cool because even though you're being knocked away a lot further, you're able to control in the air a lot better too. So
Yeah,
it wouldn't be a huge problem. Like you're like, oh no, I'm in the air, but I can still like rotate and maneuver and stuff. Not too bad.
do you think our flyers should have higher handling than average?
Handling.
Yeah, to turn.
I don't know because I feel like
Or only have additional air handling.
I like the air handling part. Um, yeah, I like the air handling part. So yeah, I like them to be able to maneuver super heavily in the air. Um, I I wonder. Hmm. I'm curious about their drifting, like, or even if we should have them where like, if they hop, they really kind of like wait, can we have them have like a triple hop, height or something, or like for funsies? What was that?
Like like what's happening right now? Like,
Yeah,
do you mean by the hop height?
yeah, hop height could be maybe like 3 times as high, so that they were able to kind of like maneuver around turns like significantly better. So if they're more floaty and like have less friction around turns, they could do hop turning, almost like fly turning, where they have higher handling in the air. And also they might be able to avoid some attacks if they're like hop flying kind of thing.
Yeah.
In a way.
So already from me changing the gravity, you notice how like they just fall a lot slower, which means their same hop has a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, if I make it so that they can change the um I want to do it real quick. Linear damping, don't care, don't care. Default ground friction, don't care. I'm going to make that 24. um, okay, yeah. So if I increase that value, you notice how they're able to, even though they're in the air and not driving, able to still kind of turn and
Yeah.
like move to the right.
Mm-hmm.
So I can make them have more of that so that when they do, okay, this is a big.
Yeah, it's pretty heavy. So what I'm thinking is what about their drifting? Um, like it. I imagine we should have a form of drifting, but of course, but like, um, I don't
What if
know.
what if their form of drifting is maybe they can't drift because it's like their normal driving kind of is like drifting, right? Because of how much they like slide. And their drift instead, like, because just how like the bicycles have a bit different of drifting than like the normal carts in Mario Kart. Like, what if
Yeah,
their drifting is much more about changing direction rather than going around curves while maintaining speed? It's like they can already do that because when they turn, they don't lose as much as their velocity because they're not like having friction on the side of their wheels.
mm-hmm.
And so then their drifts become much more about being able to do things such as like, like drift and turn. But you
Like
see
a
how like
run.
they do a 180?
Yeah,
Like imagine if they can do more so like that, where it's like they sacrifice their so instead of drifting be a way to conserve speed at the sacrifice of mobility,
yeah.
but then they have a relationship with it.
So they essentially slow themselves to do a sharp turn, basically.
Yeah, it's almost like a break. Like
That was
they're doing a harsh break to be able to like turn around and do something.
I think that was Maggie's feedback. Remember how she was saying that maybe Reveneer could drop her foot down on the ground to kind of like
Yeah.
do a hard, yeah. I think
And
that's
then
kind of what.
you can drop his anchor.
Yeah, exactly. So they could have a way to do it, but it would slow them. I like that. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, and I could also have it be so then during drifting, like if I go into that ground resistance thingy here, because what if I here, for example, on the ignoring ground resistance, what if I say and not drifting? So as in, you know how like they don't get affected by that friction,
Yeah, yeah.
but if they are, I can make it affect them, or I might even be able to double it. Who knows?
So if they're drifting in the rough terrain, then that's when they be slowed, essentially, because they're on the ground.
Yeah, because it's but the reason why though is that they have more ability to like turn without going flying that direction.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
basically like drifting is them getting to choose when to have ground friction.
Right. I think if there was any other time that they would have ground friction is when they're landing from CC. Because if they like plop down from CC, it could be interesting if they like have ground friction for a short time, so like a brief slow, and then they're able to go like normal.
Okay.
Maybe.
No, yeah. I like the mental idea of that, like seeing them hit
Boom.
and hit but slow and then lift back up.
Right, because I'm gonna have the animation where they swoop, when they land, right? So that would make sense, I think.
Yeah. Um.
So when drifting, when landing hard, probably, or something like land post CC or something like that.
We can just have it be like like you know how we were previously trying to make it so that when players land, their springs don't like make them stop when they hit the ground and then kind of get up again.
Uh
We can undo that in a way for Revenera. Because we don't want her to kind of land and pop back up to floating, right? We want her to land and skid a bit and then
Yeah.
go back.
Yeah.
So so like unlike Malboy, who when his wheels land, they have shocks, right? So they just
Right.
bounce. If Rev doesn't have that, then we can just naturally have that occur from her springs going back up, and then I can have the logic just go, oh, okay, well if her springs are extended all the way, then she's flying currently. Oh, she's at half. She's at like half compression. Yeah.
So that'd be
So
a suspension thing for her then. It'd be suspension gradation or something.
yeah, or just like the this thing, right?
Yeah.
So blue parts of the box. It's like, okay, when you first land, you see like how those boxes are positioned. It's like, okay, well, if the wheels are above the middle part, right there, that is like the heavy land. But we can make it for red. That process takes longer instead of immediately snapping back.
Okay, I see. I see.
And that way, it can just be like, oh look, it's like if this is the middle of the spring, like the ideal position for the spring, right? If it's up here, we can say she's on the ground, so she should be affected by friction.
Okay.
It's here, not.
Do we want to punish them hopping in rough terrain, or just when they land from CC?
We can make it just when they land really hard, and just
Okay.
like again, it'll not be like a long thing, right?
Right.
Like the harder they land, the harder, like the longer that will take.
Right, right. Do you want a true gradation of anything that's not just driving, that it's like it just starts as soon as you have any kind of compression of your suspension, or do you want to be clamped off at like when you hit this hard, then that's when it starts, kind of thing?
I'm not 100% sure yet.
Okay.
I was getting a physics error just now, so I need to figure out what that was. I was going alongside the hill, and I was losing my speed. I thought I got rid of that error, because turns out it's chaos just telling things to go to sleep. Like this.
Oh,
Well, I'm just not sticking to the ground. Okay.
interesting. Yeah.
There might be other logic I have that is just like doing some of these things. Like I think some of my vehicle logic I may need to like more separate out based upon cart type.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if I'm drifting through rough terrain, I should get slowed. Yeah, so you see how I get slowed now, though I normally am not.
Right.
But then if I'm drifting,
Okay.
obviously not the best.
So when you're drifting, are you getting the full effect of that rough terrain?
Yeah.
Okay, I see. I like it. I like it. I think it'll be fun to try.
Yeah, it's definitely something we need to like figure out the exact tuning of the numbers for it. But yeah, right there, you see how like that landing felt very nice. Because
Yeah.
like when I landed, I didn't just like, whee.
I feel like I would, if I was a flyer and I had better air handling than my normal handling, then every time I was going to a hard turn, I'd probably just do a hop. I'd probably just hop turn so that I can have more air handling and make a sharper turn.
Yeah, you can just go here and just be like, hop, turn.
Yeah, exactly. So as long as the air handling's pretty significant, then that's probably what they would do most of the time, is hop turning.
Yeah. Maybe I shouldn't make the reduced gravity affect all gravity, only near ground gravity. Because they sure do take a while to fall.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. I mean, I like the idea of them being floaty like that. I think it makes it fun, but
Yeah, it might just be
yeah.
like fine-tuning the amounts.
Would there be any kind of difference on like those kinds of whoa, the rock, on those kind of things for a heavy flyer compared to a light flyer, like on height or gravity?
Hey, this is kind of like where we get to play with that, right? Like,
Yeah.
say, do you think that should also apply to this?
Yeah, gotcha, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I wonder if like those things would be changed, like you taking heavy roughness or whatever yeah, like the rough terrain affecting you during drift. If it'd be different for a heavy flyer compared to a light flyer. Like what things would be different logically?
Yeah, like, and we want to be careful of not having too many interactions.
Right. Yeah, that's what I worry about too.
Because if it's simple enough that it's like, oh, okay, so a flyer has friction when they're drifting. Okay, cool. If that's all they have to worry about versus, but then additionally, there's this rule and this rule and this rule.
Yeah.
Because even though, like, yeah, the weight classes would make some sense for how to change that, if we just elsewhere have logic that only works off of weight classes, like if we decide at some point to say, okay, weight classes will, let's just say like that density value, they just like modify that. So it's like, oh, they gets like 20% more, 20% more, increase reduction if you're a light character, 20% less reduction if you're a heavy character. That would then just naturally connect with the flyer when the flyer is doing the drifting. But like the connection between, oh, it's a flyer and they get friction when they drift, and that changes based upon when they're if they're light, medium, or heavy. It's like, well, no. They have friction when they drift. Separate topic is your weight class modifies how much friction affects you. Yeah. So like it's ultimately the same effect, but they don't need to be like directly connected in that sense. To make it simple for like to understand the mechanics of a flyer.
Right.
Because if we're gonna have like the weight classes affect all vehicles in that kind of way, we can just have it be like, yeah, weight class does that.
I get that totally. Okay, so then maybe it'd be more like, maybe the heavy flyers would just not hop as high or something. If we have any kind of variables at all, then something simple as that.
Or we could have the weight classes be a lot more about how combat stuff works. Because you know how we have this ratio? That's primarily only really combat, right? Like, besides like terrain that might CC you.
Right.
Or like, you know, like an obstacle or something. But besides that, the weight, right? Like, for example, like you know, since a heavy flyer would not be affected by friction and whatnot stuff, right? So when there's other characters who are on really rough terrain, you can ram them probably really easily because you get to keep all of that speed, but you're a heavy, which means you have it be like, for example, if you impact somebody, if you're a weight class above them, you apply like a CC knockback to them. So it's like kind of like, you know, a ramming thing.
I can see that.
And that can be purely based off of weight class, not taking into account street, off-road, or whatever. That way we don't have to worry about, well, should a heavy flyer be able to launch a medium off-road? We can just like keep it simple of just, no, it's based on weight class.
Okay. So we should probably do the logic of the weight classes affecting other weight classes soonish then, of like when you bump into them. Okay.
Yeah. I think that would allow for, because we already have the CC ratio thing, so we just need to finish the coding of that.
Yeah.
because that would also directly work in if we add that impacting thing. Because if we also have a way of making impacts between characters like easy to define, that'll help with these situations of crashing into each other.
Yeah.
Because we could just say, if you're a lower weight class, you see how Malboy got launched there.
Uh-huh.
But if let's say I'm a light and he's a heavy and I do that, he just ignores me.
Would velocity take any consideration? Like if you're a light and you run to a medium and you're like boosting into them, would that be any consideration, or is it only weight class related?
We could say if you're in a boosting state, that gives you +1 to your weight technically for like just that interaction.
I think that'd be kind of cool. Like
So that allows everyone to participate in that thing.
yeah, that probably just need to be a testing thing. I think, yeah, just like we just need to figure out what would be good. But I wonder what they do with Mario Kart, because I know it's an automatic interaction. Like if I'm Baby Peach and I run into Bowser, then he's gonna just like smack me away. Typically, I don't know if velocity has anything to do with it in Mario Kart, but we could just test and see what we like.
Yeah, I think it probably has some effect, but it's like a very minor effect. Like if it's like, okay, 1000 is the default launch way, and it may be like, oh, okay, you're a light character running into a Bowser at very heavy speed. Maybe it only reduces, so like you hit him with a speed of 1000 towards him, and so instead of getting deflected with a speed of 1000 away from him, you get deflected with a speed of 300. Versus if you just bump into him normally, you get deflected with the speed of 1000.
I see. Okay.
And so it's like instead the velocity value just determines like, well, okay, you were a light character moving really fast into him, so you're not going to get punished as hard for running him. But he doesn't get anything out of it.
Right, I can see that. I can see that. Yeah. So you'll be okay. So just less of a punishment when you're going faster. Okay.
Yeah, so like that would like fit with what people would expect. It's like, oh yeah, I'm like top speed. Even if I'm a lighter guy, I'll hit them, and I was kind of like ricochet off, not like that, but something close to that, right?
Yeah, like a light bump rather than like smacked away. But yeah, that could be cool. Just like the distance.
Yeah, and what's allowed is that they do bump you, and then let's say you're to your left, they can still choose to maybe try and ram you a second time. Now they have that speed.
I think we definitely need to have that be really close, the collision bit, where you have to like really be clipping into them or like clipping onto them. Because if you're a lighter character who's a meleeer, that's gonna be really annoying if you're constantly being ricocheted off with other characters before you're gonna hit them with your melee.
Yeah, the rule about like speed moving towards each other is that like if for a heavy character to launch you when you run into them, their speed has to be within a certain like cone of towards you. So if they're driving away from you, you run into their butt, nothing's gonna happen necessarily. It'll just be kind of like. But if they're driving towards you and they hit you, then it affects.
So what about if you're side by side? Like if you're like in Mario Kart right now, if you're side by side, you run into a heavy, you're gonna be like bounced away. Should that just not be as big of a deal, or maybe really super close?
Well, what we can say is that if you're directly hitting them, it's 100% of the knock value. If you hit them sideways, it's 50%.
Sure.
And then that gets combined with the how fast are they going towards you?
Okay.
Into you thing.
So, okay, yeah. As long as we have whatever this collision is be rather small, so that like so if I'm like hitting you with Malboy and I'm going after a heavy, then I won't be like bounced away right when I'm trying to attack him, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it just needs to be small.
Like a limit of like there has to be a certain amount of speed you can count as a collide.
Yeah.
Like you want both moving at 0 speed. It look kind of weird if you get launched away super fast.
Whoa. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, essentially just no one would play a light meleeer, or we'd have to make whatever their melee attacks are be decently long range if otherwise. Sweet. Well, yeah, we've done quite a bit. Awesome.
Are you good for the day?
I think I'm good. Yeah, and I probably will do an art 1, assuming Maya's good with me today. After a little bit.
All right.
Cool. So, yeah, I like how we have some of this rough terrain going, slippery terrain. We have some more changes with like the weight classes and some more changes with the class types.
They're more distinct, which is really nice.
What was that?
they're more distinct now.
Yeah. I think that'll be really cool. So yeah, honestly, if once we get some of the more weight class things like you were just talking about, where we have the weight class reaction and knockout weight kind of stuff, then I think that we will really need to start getting multiplayer going so we have like actual testing and have people like feeling it out and giving us feedback on them.
Yeah.
Like, hey, this is what this class does. Let us know how you feel about it, kind of thing.
Mhm.
So, going into his face. What are you doing? You testing?
Yeah, for some reason, the other, yeah, there's some funkiness, and I'm having frame rate issues. Mm. I forgot. It's just on Malboy's face for a second.
Yeah,
But yeah.
that's funny. Let's
Alright.
yeah, let's try to get multiplayer going soonish. But I think yeah, having the weight class stuff will be really cool, and yeah, awesome. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you like this stream, then check out our other streams. We'll be doing some art streams and animation streams here soon too, as well. I gotta wrap up talks, weapon and vehicle here soon, and yeah. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.
You know, it kind of looks like the mallet's made of like a basketball with cheese on it. Like that, like pies makes me think of basketball.